This is a little bit of a different take on our podcast, right? We want to actually talk about a news event and just chat through what it means to the industry. And what I think is really cool, though, is, we encounter new things in crypto all the time. And so in this specific case, we wanted to chat about this platform called LooksRare, which is a fork of sorts of OpenSea. So we've seen forks of crypto protocols before. We're going to get into what this means, how it all works. But this one's, again, fun and unique and interesting because, hey, we're forking a different type of platform. And so it's fun to think through all those, nuanced competitive dynamics with the main question in the back of my head of how is this going to play out? Like, will a fork of an OpenSea platform actually work long term? What are the factors we want to consider when we think about this? And where is it driving the NFT space?
Just to define it, like LooksRare is kind of like the up and coming, and people are calling it the like OpenSea competitor. And LooksRare, by the way, I think we should mention, like, I know I cited just now that like OpenSea did like over $4 billion worth of trading volume in January. LooksRare, which is like kind of its competitor, generated over $8 billion in like trading fees, which is double the size of OpenSea. And so how does a platform that's only been around for 4 weeks like surpass OpenSea, which has been around for years at this point and has so many users? Like, I think that's the bigger question that people are really talking about.
And our first episode of the podcast, right, that was about NFTs. And we mentioned, NFTs as non-fungible tokens. It's kind of like each one is unique. Each one is a piece of art. Whereas crypto tokens are like dollar bills. You can exchange them back and forth. You can actually trade the physical piece of paper. But if you get another dollar back, well, it's the same value. It's the same thing. So that actually means NFT markets are structurally built differently.
Okay, so LooksRare, if I just can use jargon for a second. So the reason why LooksRare has gotten so popular is because they basically vampire attacked OpenSea. And vampire attack is a specific, I think, like crypto, maybe it's a crypto word. I get confused what's a crypto world and what's a real like world term, but I think vampire attack is like a crypto thing. And
is there a vampire attack in the real world? Yeah.
I mean, I think most people will think of like Twilight when I say that.
Pretty much.
But it's not about falling in love with a vampire. It's it's a way to onboard users onto your products. And so just to backtrack, let's like lay out the scene, right? So summer of 2020, in my mind, is the summer of DeFi, like the summer of decentralized finance. And the term vampire attack was termed back then because you can think about it as like one product wants to like suck out the liquidity or the like users of another platform, and they create these like crazy incentive schemes for them to do that. So the product or the company that wants to like suck out another platform's user or trading volume is the platform that does the vampire attack. Does that make any sense?
It does. It's also, man, I'm trying to think of like how my mom would try to understand this, because it'd be really challenging people not in crypto to understand how it actually works in the back end. But you're 100% correct, right? It's this basic idea that, hey, in crypto, these are, protocols that live on a blockchain, or at least in some form they live on a blockchain. And whatever lives on a blockchain is open source. People can see that code. They can generally control copy, control paste, and create an identical version of the exact same protocol. And so a vampire attack is just that. It's, hey, let's copy somebody else's protocol and let's try to get users to use my copy instead. And the way they vampire attack it is usually using a token of some form and saying, hey, we're going to airdrop, we're going to give out tokens on my new copy platform to people who have used the existing platform, and try to use that as an incentive to come to my platform in some way, right? So as you said, summer 2020, that was actually the original implementation of a vampire attack. And we thought through a lot of these competitive dynamics. At this point, we've got 1.5 years of history to look on and see how these vampire attacks worked, right?
Yeah. So, okay, so to break it down maybe more concretely, like how a vampire attack generally works, which is that like sometimes you need to bring something from the competitor to bring it onto here to get rewarded, right? So like it's a couple of things. It's like rewarding people for a certain behavior, but specifically with the intent of taking someone else's or like some other platform's liquidity or users. So the OG example of a successful vampire attack is this decentralized exchange called SushiSwap. And SushiSwap basically copy pasted an open source code that underlies another exchange called UniSwap. Bear with me, these are real things. So SushiSwap basically was like, okay, we want to make another UniSwap because UniSwap is doing super well. But everybody already trusts UniSwap. So how do we like lure these users here? So what they did, copy pasted a pretty successful protocol code, right? And launched their own. And they were like, hey, any users that want to come, you can come and I'll by the way, I'll reward you like tokens, which are like their own little like rewards. But you can only get rewarded if you take what you already like put on Uniswap, and you basically take the receipt from there and put it onto this platform. So basically you move what you already have on that into here, and we'll give you like rewards in exchange. And why are we telling this story? Is because LooksRare is kind of copying that playbook.